You've heard it a million times. Just smile. Look on the bright side. Stay positive. We live in a world absolutely obsessed with optimism. When someone says, life is unfair and I have zero control over my future, we immediately label them as pessimistic. We tell them they need therapy. We tell them to fix their mindset. But what if they don't need fixing? What if the sad person in the room is the only one actually seeing the world exactly as it is? Today, we are diving into a psychological concept called depressive realism. And fair warning, understanding this might permanently change how you view your own happiness. Let's play a quick game. Imagine you are sitting in a room. In front of you is a button and a green light. Your only job is to figure out if pressing the button turns on the light. Sounds incredibly simple, right? In 1979, psychologists Lauren Alloy and Lynn Abramson ran this exact experiment. They brought in two groups of people, those with mild depression and those who were perfectly happy. Here is the catch. The game was rigged. The button had absolutely no connection to the light. The light was programmed to turn on and off completely at random. At the end of the test, the researchers asked the participants how much control they had over the light. The results were shocking. The happy, optimistic people confidently claimed they were in charge. They convinced themselves that their specific tapping patterns were making the light flash. But the depressed group, they saw right through the illusion. They accurately stated the truth. I had no control over this at all. This experiment birthed the theory of depressive realism. It suggests that sad people aren't necessarily distorting reality. Instead, they are just stripped of the psychological filters that the rest of us use to survive. You see, a healthy human brain is a brilliant liar, and honestly, it has to be. If you woke up every single morning fully aware of all the risks, the economic crashes, the diseases, and the sheer chaotic randomness of the universe, you wouldn't get out of bed. To keep you moving forward, your brain uses a survival mechanism called the Optimism Bias. This bias makes you believe you are a better driver than most people on the road. It makes you believe your marriage won't end in divorce, even though statistics say otherwise. It makes you think your business will succeed despite a 90% failure rate. Optimism is an evolutionary shield. It protects us from the harsh, cold reality of existence. Happy people aren't seeing the truth. They are just wearing rose-colored glasses permanently glued to their faces. When you become mildly depressed, those glasses fall off. The shield drops. You aren't being negative. You are just finally looking at the raw, unfiltered data of life. Now, let's be crystal clear here, so we don't misunderstand the science. We are not romanticizing clinical depression. When depression gets severe, it becomes a funhouse mirror. It distorts reality just as badly as extreme optimism does. Severe depression lies to you, making you believe you are completely worthless and that every single situation is doomed. That is not realism. That is a dangerous illness. But mild sadness, that gray area where you just feel a bit melancholic and disconnected from the hype, that is exactly where clarity lives. Studies show that people in this mild, realistic state actually make better financial decisions. They are better at reading subtle social cues, and they evaluate their own skills much more accurately. They don't overestimate their abilities, and they don't underestimate the risks. So, what do we do with this information? Should we all just aim to be sad and miserable? Of course not. Happiness, even if it is slightly delusional, feels good. It drives innovation, art, and love. We need a little bit of that delusion to thrive and build a future. But depressive realism teaches us something incredibly valuable. The next time you feel a wave of sadness or a moment of deep cynicism, don't rush to push it away. Don't force yourself to recite positive affirmations just to fit in. Sit with it. Look around. Because for that brief moment, you might be the most rational person in the room. You might be seeing the world exactly as it is. Thanks for watching. If this video gave you a new perspective, leave a like and subscribe for more deep dives into the human mind. See you in the next one.